Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Gohan Kid Piccolo Exchange LR unit that's going to be coming to DBZ Dokkan. Now, to cut a long story short, Planet Namek Saga lead, Bond Master and Disciple category lead, pretty cool. Ki +4 attack and defense of 150%, generally indicates it's going to be a yellow coin LR. Because remember, carnival units have 200% attack and defense. Attack and defense of 200% leader skills. Attack and defense of 200% and additional attack of 150% when performing a super. Ki +3 reduces damage by 30% and chance of performing a critical hit +30% and launches an additional attack. There's a high chance of becoming a super attack for 3 turns from the character's entry turn. Ki +3 reduces damage received by 30% and chance of performing a critical hit +30% as the first attacker in the turn. Reduces damage received by 20% and chance of performing a critical hit +20% when there's another Planet Namek Saga or Namekian's category ally attacking in the same turn, and then recovers 20% HP at the end of turn. So kind of similar really in function to Bio Broly, a little bit to the physical Frieza, in that we see them having this kind of 3-turn additional damage reduction on top of obviously 30% that they can have as the first attacker, on top of 20% that they can have if there's another Planet Namek or Namekian's category ally. So 80% damage reduction, which is pretty cool. Also an 80% crit chance. Generally speaking, you'll be rolling around with 50 depending on the length of the event, which isn't bad. You do have to be the first attacker though, which is a little bit of a shame. And obviously they get another 150% when performing a super attack. So all in all, actually a very simple unit basically. A little bit of a shame that there's no support functionality here, at least in the base form, but we'll see because there is an exchange, so we can't evaluate the unit solely on their base form. But at this point in time, I'd say a good tank for the first 3 turns for the Planet Namek Saga, which probably is exactly what they need really right now. Same Warrior Race, all in the family, Gaze of Respect, Shocking Speed, Demonic Waves, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, are the link set, which is a very mediocre link set, to be honest with you. Active skill can be activated when HP is 70% or less, starting from the 4th turn from the start of battle or starting from the 6th turn. So here we can see the exchange mechanic. Obviously starting from the 4th turn, this is fine, so it means that if you're in a bit of a tight situation, you can exchange a bit earlier. If not, you wait till the 6th turn, which is fine because they have their damage reduction for those first 3 turns. So yeah, everything up till the 4th turn, they're pretty golden across the board. On a nice bunch of categories though, I will say they did well there. Planet Namek Saga, Bond Master and Disciple, Hybrid Saiyans, Dragon Ball Seekers, Goku's Family, Youth, Bond Parent and Child, Earthbred Fighter, Rapid Growth, Savior, Entrusted Will, and a Connected Hope. So on the surface level of things, not bad. I think a standard unit so far, not a bad LR. I wouldn't say they look exceptional. I think they tank really well for the first 3 turns. They will be okay-ish as a tank after super, after that turn 3, but they don't have enough damage reduction to be an outright first slot tank. At 50%, I know it sounds crazy, but it's just not enough anymore. In terms of super attack effects, this is possibly why we can see that. They raise their attack and defense permanently on their 12 key, and then they massively raise attack and defense 1 turn on their 18 key. So they can stack attack and defense. So this starts to change things a little bit, the stacking and attacking defense, the 50% damage reduction, massively raising your attack and defense. Now you're starting to see a unit that, could definitely be really, really good as a tank. So now after exchange, obviously we become Piccolo. We do get a change in links. We're now getting Brainiacs and Namekians instead of having all in the family, which is, is what it is. Now here we have Ki +8, 250% attack and defense, an additional 150% attack when performing a super attack, and damage reduction flat of 50%. So very similar to what we had before. We don't have the defense anymore that occurs when I'm performing a super attack, but now we have flat 50% damage reduction, which is pretty interesting. High chance of performing a crit flat, which is 50%, and launches an additional attack. There's a great chance of becoming a super attack. So built-in additionals, built-in crit, an additional 4 key, and launches an additional attack starting from the turn in which the character has received an attack. Lots of additionals when 70% more. plus additional damage reduction of 20% in superclass allies, plus 70% defense when HP is 70% or less at the start of turn, evades enemy's attack within the turn once only, and from the character's next attacking turn onwards, high chance of evading attack, recovers 25% HP at the end of the turn. So basically, we lose the 150% defense on super. We do have now a flat 250%, which is better. We have built-in crits of 50%. We have built-in additionals as well, 2 of them, which is very, very interesting. Then we get additional ki. We have damage reduction going up even further and become a support when HP is 70% or less. And then we evade enemies' attacks, including super attacks within the turn once upon transformation. And then from the next attacking turn onwards, we have a high chance of evasion. Really, really good. So here we're looking solid. Health recovery 25%, 50% damage reduction, potentially 70%, 50% evasion, guaranteed evasion for that first turn. And then on top of that as well, 2 built-in additionals. So why this is so important is because if you carry over all those stacks, and then you carry over the stacking ability, this unit can then continue to stack their defense quite high. And if you look here, you'll see raising attack and defense continues on their super attack effect. So immediately becoming a lot more interesting a unit. I think overall, pretty good. I think overall the unit is honestly pretty good. A great tank for the first 3 turns as you use them in that first slot just to soak up damage. Then from the 4th turn onwards, if you're in a bit of a tight situation, you can have them transform, giving you the healing, giving you the additional defensive security. The only issue, the only shame, is that this unit is not a Namekian. So it's got Piccolo, which fulfills Nail's requirements, but it does not have a Namekian on the team. So it would have been great if this unit was Namekian, because then it would have essentially been like, okay, cool, I am Namekian, I fulfill all of Nail's requirements, so now Nail can run on one rotation, I can run on the other. You've got 2 great tanky units for Planet Namek Saga, and then you can start rolling like Vegeta, you can start rolling like hopefully Vegeta and Goku's EZA, so you really then start to look really, really good. But we'll see. Overall, I think really cool. Let's take a look at the animations. So yeah, I think overall the animations look pretty cool. I think, yeah, considering the source material is entirely, I think around 2 or 3 episodes against Frieza, they did have a decent chunk of material to work with. I think a lot of the Planet Namek animations, at least for me, always look really cool. I just really like the color palette and the tone of Planet Namek Saga and just the attacks in general. I think they do a lot with what they have, and I think it looks pretty cool. Gohan's Masenko looks pretty cool. Obviously, it went on for about 6 episodes in reality, so they really cut it down. Piccolo's absorption looks pretty cool. Then, of course, he now heads over to take on Frieza, and I think his references are okay. I do think he had cooler scenes, to be honest with you. Like, I think they're cool. I think they missed out 1 or 2 really cool attacks, but I think the animations for them are really, really solid. Maybe they're saving that one day for a Planet Namek Piccolo Fusion Nail card, which would be really cool, so I have no real problem with that. So yeah, overall, I'd have to say, really nice stuff. Honestly, for me, very happy with the unit. I think it's a cool unit. I think it suits pretty much what Planet Namek Saga needs to a T. Would have been nice if it had a little bit of support in it, but overall, really cool card.